Oh, yeah. And we are back and we are live. This is After the Greatness, day 2, where we are just doing a quick recap, just things that we saw that were happening. And if you're jumping on, you can go ahead and comment as well. So again, this was a great day, man. This was day 2,
Super good
and
day.
yeah, there's tons of I keep going back to it, and I think it's because the best thing, and we talk about this all the time in conferences. What what are some of the things that you can get out of it? Well, of course, all of the education, but the networking alone
Right.
sometimes, just the connections, all of that is so good, so powerful. And to be in each session, and so for those who are watching, if you didn't jump on to After the Greatness yesterday, Leah is she is signed in as me as well, so she can see everything that's going on when I'm in the green room with the speakers, and she and I are communicating. So it might look one way on my side, but it might look different or sound different on hers. So we're going back and forth, and then also she's putting messages in the comments and talking with people, and that's those are some of the things that we really saw was the interaction. What were some of the takeaways and stuff that you had?
I think Joe starting the day off with that much energy was the perfect way to go. Everybody
Oh
was
yeah.
engaged the entire time. Tons of comments, tons of interaction. So that was super fun.
That yes, that guy. He and I jumped on a few times. We jumped on last night, and it was so funny. And I'm hoping that he will jump on tonight for Open Mic Live, because we had this conversation, and he mentions it at the end
Mhm.
where so he was going through a dry run, and he starts talking, and I'm just watching him, and I'm like this because I'm trying not to laugh. And then he goes, "What do you think? How was that?" And I said, "Okay, dude, I loved it. I love your energy. I love listening to you speak." I said, "But I have to point out that when you moved your head a certain way, you might have to put your banner up a little higher because your head is covering the G." And for those who don't know, Joe McCarville, he's he has 911 gold line training, okay? And when he would move his head, it would cover the G, so it looked like old line training. And so we're laughing real hard about it and stuff. And he goes, "I think I'm gonna bring it up in my session at the end, but I want you to tell me if you see me do it." And I didn't see him do it, but I'm glad that he brought it
No,
up because it added a little more. It was funny that had happened.
I think he was conscious of it. It was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, and he definitely put the banner up a lot higher. So Joe, my bro, thank you again so much for jumping on that and then telling that bacon story. Which again, dude, if you jump on tonight, that'll be good for us to share that because he he literally about burned his house down with bacon that he was trying to turn. and I and I had asked him and said, "Hey, would you like to be the keynote speaker for day 2? Because I would love for you to do it." And then doesn't say a word, and that's why he says that what he said was exactly what I said. I was like, "Well, don't be so happy about it, man." And he goes, "No, no, no, you have no idea. I just almost burnt my house down with bacon." Oh man, it was good
Whoops.
stuff. Yes. And then it was Adam's turn. Adam jumped on and he
Yeah.
has got an energy as well. And you and I were talking in the background on Messenger as he would say, throw out there just in responses to what he was saying. And
Right.
it took like a second or two, but mostly because everybody was typing in. And
Mhm.
then all the messages started coming in at once. And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So if you see the replay, that's what's going on there. I mean, those responses are in real time, but you also have to give that time to for people to type.
Yeah, his interaction was off the chart. And I've seen him speak in person a few times and it was awesome. And everybody's interaction was great.
Yeah, it just continued on and continued on and continued on throughout the day. The amount of interaction, and as people are speaking, I am going through social media as well. and I'm seeing people posting pictures and pictures and pictures and sharing them. So if you're watching right now, thank you so much for doing that. That's what we want to see. We want to see we're looking for selfies of you attending this. So it's you and your laptop or your computer or whatever it is that you're doing, and just hashtagging it Dare to Be Great 2020, because then we can click on, or we can search that hashtag, and we can see everyone who's been attending, and it's just really cool to see how it's been spreading, and just everyone enjoying it. It's been good. What are some of the other takeaways that you had?
Michelle's session was next. Sure, hers was great.
Mhm.
Um, Again, people were interactive, and it seemed like to me that they were very comfortable sharing some of the things that they were sharing, and it was cool that they had that place even though it was online. And she said something to the effect of, how many times do you say I'm fine over the course of the day? And it's okay, you can say that, but maybe you're not. And so to say I'm not okay, but it's fine, I'll get through this, sometimes I think a lot of people need to hear that. And it was good to hear. People had a really
Right.
good response to that.
Yeah, and I think along with that, building on top of that, we were kind of talking about how when you're in person, and I think I mentioned it to her as well when I came back on at the very end. When you're in person and people are asking questions, sometimes people are put in the spot and they don't like to be in that spotlight when they're answering a question or something, and people don't want to be wrong or anything like that, so they sometimes don't answer. Well, in this platform, you see messages, comments just going and going and going, and people answering, and it was really cool to be able to have that as well. So um and then at the end, I'm not going to ruin it, but at the end, so you're going to have to check out the replay, but at the end there might have been some REO Speedwagon playing.
Playing or singing ish,
Something like
maybe.
that. Yeah,
Playing.
you might just have to check out the the whole presentation for that part there. It was a lot of fun. It was pretty good. And then, the I don't know what happened. We broke the internet. We did something happened because
Wreck It Ricardo.
yeah. That was another one that came out. There's Ricochet Ricky, and now there's Wreck It Ricardo. the the platform, like the website, crashed. I guess it seemed
Yeah.
to crash, and I was talking to support at the same time, and trying to figure out what's going on. Then I used the app on my phone, and because Halcyon was next, Halcyon Frank and her sister, they were doing the next session. And I was on my phone and they were on, and then we were all on, and then I went to go live, and it's funny because I started doing my intro, and I said, "Oh, we're back." When thank you for hanging in there, and this and that. And then Halcyon goes, Ricardo, I don't want to burst your bubble. She said something to that effect, but she goes, mine still says that we're in the green room. And I was like, okay. And I looked down, and sure enough, it was still in the green room, even though it said that we went live. So it messed up, and then we finally all jumped on, and I'm going to have to get a hold of Crowdcast support, because I went back in there just a little while ago to see the replay, if it ended up recording or not, and there's not a replay in there. So I need to figure out what's going to happen with that, if it did get recorded after all, or if that blip allowed everything to go live but just didn't record, and at least everyone got to see um, that session. So someone is saying here, no sound. You're not able to hear sound right now? Or was it just the session? We'll have to check that out, because
Yeah.
everything is working from this one right now. This is StreamYard that we're using. This is a different platform versus the Crowdcast, but we were still able to do it and got through it. And you enjoyed that session as well, because we were, like I said, we were sending messages back and forth, and you said that it was good that she had her sister on there with her.
I do. I think the perspective of her sister being a deputy and Halcyon being a dispatcher, having both sides, and who better than somebody that's going to be brutal honest with you.
Right.
So it provided a really good content, and I really enjoyed listening to that.
It was definitely good. And then we closed it off with Tony Harrison, and he was talking about lessons learned from the Oklahoma City bombing. And I mean, it starts out with that audio, and it's not just the audio of the bombing, but also the audio of, you know, the officers, dispatchers, fire, everybody.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different audio that is on there, so that is a very powerful session. Any takeaways from that one?
That audio, it gives you chills when you listen to it, much like those events do. Um, Great session, great information. Everybody was really interactive. Somebody did put in the comments though, and it made you think, it was 25 years ago. What would that event have been like the way cell phones are now?
Yeah.
So that's kind of an interesting take on things, but it was an amazing session. I will actually probably watch it again.
Yeah, ditto. And not just, you know, from the amount of cell phones that are around now, but I mean, just think about the social media alone.
Yep.
That right there, you talk about breaking the internet. That would
Right.
be something that would happen as well. So amazing day, a lot of great sessions again, and thank you so much for being in there ninja style and doing everything that you do, and to just to everyone who has helped, and of course to those who have attended this Dare to Be Great 2020 conference. Thank you all so much. At the end of Tony's session, I got a little misty there as I'm talking and saying thank you to everyone, because again, you know, this is all about you. This is the era of the headset. It's our time. So thank you all very much again for joining in and for jumping on here really quick for just, you know, 10 minutes or so to do a quick recap after the greatness for day 2. And then tomorrow, day 3 starts out at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Keynote speaker Rosa Ramos, manager with Alameda County Regional ECC out of California. She is amazing. She
I
did.
cannot wait for her.
I
Cannot wait.
know, right? Yes.
No
She
pressure.
did. Yeah, we were both, Lee and I were both over at Cal Nina, and along with a few other Michigan people too. And so we're over there, and Rosa does the opening speech, and man, it was really good. And when we started putting this together, I wanted her to be the keynote going into the closing, the last day. So she is going to be presenting on championing your cause. It is going to be another great day full of some amazing speakers. So please, all of you, join us. And then if you are going to be up later on, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, open mic live, have your funny 911 stories ready. If you have any audio clips, please send them in to wttpodcast@gmail.com, and we will play them there, because open mic live is where we talk about the lighter side of dispatch and we share funny 911 stories. So let's take an hour out of our time to forget about all the bullshit that is out there, and let's laugh together. Thank you again, Leah, and everyone for watching, and everyone for attending, and the speakers for doing what you do as well, and helping out for Dare to Be Great 2020. Have a good one, everyone.